Some men are born to rule, others to conquer. But once, over 2,000 years ago, there was a man who did both, and in less than 13 years, he took the known world. His name was Alexander. The year is 356 BC. In the royal palace of Pella, the capital of Macedonia, Queen Olympias gives birth to a child destined for greatness. Outside, a violent storm tears across the land. Lightning splits the heavens. That same night, far away, the great temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the world, is consumed by fire. Priests and seers whisper that the gods have marked this birth. Olympias tells her son he is descended from Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Trojan War. King Philip II, a hardened soldier and brilliant strategist, sees in his son the spark of an even greater ruler. They name him Alexander. From an early age, Alexander is restless, hungry for knowledge and adventure. At 13, he is placed under the guidance of Aristotle, the philosopher whose teachings would shape empires. Aristotle fills his mind with literature, philosophy, medicine, and politics. But above all, he teaches Alexander that to rule men, one must understand them. At 16, while Philip wages war abroad, Alexander rules in his place. When a northern tribe revolts, Alexander rides at the head of his army, crushes them, and establishes his first city, Alexandropolis. 2 years later, at the Battle of Chaeronea, the young prince rides with the Macedonian cavalry. The enemy, the elite sacred band of Thebes, is known for never breaking in battle. Alexander leads a daring charge that smashes their ranks, cementing his reputation as a warrior prince. In 336 BC, tragedy strikes. King Philip is assassinated. Some say by political enemies. Others whisper of Olympias' involvement. At just 20 years old, Alexander inherits the throne. Across Greece, rebellions erupt. Thebes rises in defiance, believing the young king to be weak. Alexander marches on the city, surrounds it, and launches a brutal assault. Thebes is annihilated. 6,000 dead, 30,000 enslaved. The other Greek states bow to him. In the spring of 334 BC, Alexander stands on the shores of the Hellespont, the narrow strait between Europe and Asia. Before crossing, he hurls a spear into the soil of Asia, claiming it in the name of the gods and as spoils of war. He has just 40,000 men against the vast armies of Persia. His campaign begins. Now, with Greece united under his rule, Alexander turns to a greater prize, the Persian Empire. The Persians believe Alexander will hesitate to cross the river before them. He does not. Charging straight through the current, his cavalry crashes into the Persian lines. The water runs red as the two forces clash. In the chaos, a Persian noble swings an axe at Alexander, splitting his helmet. Another Persian moves to strike the killing blow, but is cut down by one of Alexander's companions. The young king fights on, and by nightfall, the Persians are in retreat. Asia Minor lies open before him. In 333 BC, Alexander meets the Persian king Darius III at Issus. The Persian army is vast, nearly double Alexander's numbers. The battle begins with a Persian advance, but Alexander leads a wedge formation directly toward Darius. The sight of the Macedonian king charging straight at him shatters Darius's resolve. He flees the battlefield, abandoning his army and even his own family. Darius's mother mistakes Alexander for the Persian king and bows before him. Alexander gently corrects her. "He is not your son, but I will treat you as if I were." Next, Alexander sets his sights on the fortress island of Tyre. Its walls rise over 100 feet above the waves, and no army has ever taken it. Most would leave it untouched. Alexander orders the construction of a massive causeway stretching from the mainland to the city. For months, under a rain of arrows and burning projectiles, his men work. Finally, siege towers breach the walls, and the Macedonians pour in. Tyre is his. The Mediterranean bows to Alexander. Alexander marches into Egypt, welcomed as a liberator from Persian rule. In the desert, he visits the oracle of Ammon. The priests greet him as the son of Zeus. Whether he believes it or not, Alexander understands its power. For now, he is not just a king. He is divine. He founds the city of Alexandria, destined to become one of the greatest centers of knowledge in the ancient world, for BC, the plains of Gaugamela. Darius gathers the might of his empire, perhaps 200,000 soldiers. Alexander commands just 47,000. Before the battle, Alexander tells his men, "We are outnumbered, but not outmatched." As the Persians attempt to surround him, Alexander feigns retreat, drawing part of their cavalry away. In that moment, he leads the companion cavalry in a thunderous charge straight at Darius. Once again, the Persian king turns and flees. This time, his empire dies with him. Crowned as King of Kings, Alexander pushes deeper into Asia. He fights guerrilla resistance in the mountains, marries the Princess Roxana to secure loyalty, and founds cities that carry his name. In 326 BC, he reaches the Indian subcontinent. At the Battle of the Hydaspes, he faces King Porus, whose war elephants terrify men and horses alike. The battlefield shakes as the beasts charge. Alexander's troops encircle the elephants, bringing them down one by one. Impressed by Porus's courage, Alexander spares him and restores his kingdom, earning both respect and loyalty. Years of war grind down even the strongest. Alexander's men, weary and longing for home, refuse to march farther east. Reluctantly, Alexander turns back. The journey is brutal. Crossing the Gedrosian desert, heat and thirst kill thousands. Yet Alexander marches on foot alongside his soldiers, sharing their suffering. In 323 BC, in the city of Babylon, Alexander is struck by a mysterious illness. Fever consumes him. Whispers of poison spread through the ranks. On his deathbed, his generals ask who will inherit his empire. His final words are barely audible: "To the strongest." At 32 years old, the greatest general of the ancient world is gone. In just 13 years, he built an empire stretching from Greece to Egypt, from Persia to the edges of India. He never lost a battle. He fought in the front lines, bled with his soldiers, and carried the name of Greece to the farthest corners of the world. More than 2 millennia later, his legend endures. He was Alexander the Great.